it's Emma and I'm back today for you with another video, and today I am going to be doing another installment in the series that I do where I recommend books based on certain anime, alright? And the anime that I want to recommend books based on today is Claymore, alright? It is quickly becoming one of my favorites. The books that I'm going to be recommending to you guys will have a theme of obviously strong, powerful women, possibly women warriors, and a lot of these times these women are going to essentially be shunned by the people that need them or outcast by society, kind of like the Claymores are in the anime. So I have a few books here that I want to recommend to y'all, and before we actually start, I would really appreciate it if you guys would look down in the description box for all the links there that I have for you guys pertaining to stuff going on in the world right now. For example, what's going on in Gaza, what's going on in Haiti, what's going on in Sudan, what's going on in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, what's going on in Myanmar, anything of the sort, right? So those links will be down there for you guys to interact with and to share. And then down in the comment section, let me know whether or not you like Claymore, whether you think that my recommendations are valid, whether you have any recommendations that you'd like to put out there. So with that being said, let's just get right on into it. So the first book that I want to recommend to fans of Claymore is The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. All right, this is set in an African-inspired fantasy world where all of the girls essentially have to go through this blood test to see if they bleed red blood or if they bleed gold blood. If they bleed red blood, they are accepted into the community and they are normal. And then if they bleed gold blood, then they are seen as demons because this gold blood mysteriously gives them supernatural strength, speed, and immortality to a degree. And so they are shunned, but these gold-blooded girls have essentially a choice. They can either live as outcasts or they can essentially be conscripted into this army that fights for the emperor because they have this supernatural strength and speed. And so it's following our main character as she is conscripted into this army, and she finds out just exactly what they're fighting against. I want to recommend this to fans of Claymore because obviously it's women warriors, and these women warriors have supernatural blood that gives them supernatural powers such as speed, strength, and immortality that makes them better fighters than the average population. And not to mention, these girls are shunned by the homes that they come from. Their parents won't even look at them, let alone acknowledge them. And at the same time, they are tasked with the protection of these people who hate them. So it's just these women who are essentially trying to navigate who they are in amongst everything that people are telling them that they are. I think this book is like Claymore, obviously because of the reasons, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty of this book, I really enjoy the plot and the action scenes and the fighting, and also just the relationship that these girls make with one another is so soothing. And I don't know, I think it's gonna be a trilogy, but honestly, in my opinion, this could stand as a standalone if you're not willing to read a series. The next book that I want to recommend to fans of Claymore is Scythe by Neal Shusterman. All right, this is set in humanity's future where we have conquered death. Nobody dies of sickness, of old age, of hunger, just nobody dies. There's this organization of people called Scythes that are trained in all types of death to deal out death to the population. And we follow Citra and Rowan, two kids who are now apprentices to Scythes, and they have to learn all of these different ways of killing people, and they learn just what makes the Scythedom tick. Like I said in the synopsis, all the Scythes have to learn how to fight, aka be warriors. They have to learn all of the types of martial arts, poisons, all the type of weapons, how to handle all of them. And in doing so, they have to learn how to deal death. And it's exactly what the Claymores do, you know, with them dealing death to the demons. It's just the Scythes are just dealing death to the population. Also similar to Claymore, the villagers in the show are terrified of the Claymores and yet warily reverent of them at the same time, and that's pretty much the same thing as the Scythes. Nobody wants to see a Scythe, right? Because that obviously means that you have a chance of being the one that they are coming to deal death on. But at the same time, they're also looked on as like reverent as well because they deal death. You know, nobody really knows what death is anymore. That's how long humanity has gone without having to be afraid of dying. And so there's kind of this almost feeling of, oh, okay, well, if I kiss up to a Scythe, maybe they will postpone my death for however many years. Also, we see the inner politics of the Scythedom, obviously through Citra and Rowan's apprenticeships. We see the different factions in the Scythes. We see the different philosophies that different Scythes have. We see the old guard versus the new. So if you're like me and you like fantasy sci-fi with a lot of political machinations and intrigue, I think you'll really like this book. The next book that I want to recommend to fans of Claymore is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This follows Rin, who aces the exam to get into one of the most prestigious war colleges ever. And once she gets there, she is not exactly met with smiling faces because she is poor and she is dark-skinned. She finds that she has a particular specialization in shamanism, and she has a gift for it. And so she starts learning all about shamanism and how to bring out these powers through her seemingly insane mentor. Meanwhile, the empire that she is in is among brewing tensions with a federation across the sea that really wants to conquer said empire. So war is on the brink, and we see Rin and all of her classmates essentially gear up to be in a war as teenagers. I want to recommend this based on Claymore because obviously it's women in the military, women training to be warriors. They have to learn all of these different forms of martial arts in order to face hand-to-hand combat. They have to learn how to use weapons. And also Rin has to learn about shamanism in order to fully understand this gift that she has. Rin is also outcast by her fellow students, maybe except for one or two, because she is poor, she is darker skinned, and also she's shunned and outcast because of what she chooses to study, aka shamanism, because nobody believes that shamanism is actually a thing anymore. And so they essentially look at her again and are like, dude, you're studying something that doesn't even exist. What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? This book is very dark, and I feel like Claymore really has its darker moments. If you're a fan of a female character essentially looking at everybody in the face and telling, essentially, screw you, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to survive because I make my own damn destiny. All right, I think you'll really love Rin. Next, I want to recommend to people who like Claymore, House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. This is about Marion, who has lived in the slums all of her life and she wants out. So she decides to go up north to become a blood maid. And blood maids are women who go and live in these houses controlled by people in the north who drink blood. And these blood maids, like I said, live in the house and they supply the house owner with blood. And in exchange, they live these lives of luxury and lavish. Marion becomes a blood maid to the esteemed House of Hunger, and she learns exactly what being a blood maid entails. Now, a reason why I want to recommend this based on Claymore is because blood maids are influential women, same as Claymores are. They might not be warriors, they may not be women warriors. However, they do still have influence based on which house they sit in. And the same thing with the Claymores. They are influential women because of the organization that they belong to. Also, just like the Claymores, because of the organization that they belong to, the blood maids are shunned in everywhere except the north because of the position that they hold, because they're basically seen as human blood bags. And another reason why I want to recommend this based on Claymore is because the blood maids are used by the higher-ups for blood, and then the Claymores are used by the population for protection, all right? So these women are powerful in different ways, but are still used by the people who give them this power, and at the same time are shunned by the people that they use this power essentially against in some way, shape, or form, all right? This may not be action-packed like Claymore is, and you know, these don't have women warriors. However, I really do enjoy the subtleties that this book provides with the similarities that I pointed out. The next book that I want to recommend to fans of Claymore is Red Wolf by Rachel Vincent. This is about Adele, who's 16 years old, and on her 16th birthday finds out that she and all of the female ancestors in her ancestral line are werewolves. And they essentially act as guardians that protect the towns that they live in from the monsters in this ever-encroaching forest around each town. So she becomes responsible now for the guardianship of her town, and she realizes that she has a lot of responsibilities that she may just not want. The reason why I want to recommend this to fans of Claymore is because this has women warriors too. Alright, they're just not called warriors. They have to fight. They turn into werewolves, alright, in order to fight monsters to protect the population. Now the guardians, the werewolves, the women warriors, are also shunned by the population because this is set in like a medieval type style France-esque setting. All right, so it's kind of the air around the villagers regarding the guardians slash werewolves slash warriors, all right, is kind of the same as Salem witch trials, where it's like, if it's not the common everyday norm, she's a witch. Burn the bitch! The guardians are essentially shunned by the population because of their supernatural powers and obviously the villagers' superstitions. So the guardians essentially have to keep this huge secret and also be the guardians and protect all these people without the people finding out exactly who they are or what they are. Also, this book has monsters in it, and honestly, I really enjoyed seeing the different types of monsters in this book, and we see different types of demons in Claymore. I would say that there is a relationship synonymous to Claire and Rocky's relationship in here, because there's just it's kind of like a begrudging sister-mother trope, which I always enjoy. It's just really cool to see this world in this book with the werewolves and the monsters, and I don't know, this is a lot more action-packed, and yeah, I think if you like Claymore, you would like Red Wolf. Finally, the last book that I would like to recommend to fans of Claymore is Her Name is Night by Yasmin Angoe. This is about Nina, who is an elite assassin. One mission ends up completely going wrong because instead of taking one life, she actually ends up saving it, and killing somebody else that she wasn't actually supposed to kill. So while she's dealing with being tasked with killing a man that she likes, the entire time she's found out that there could be somebody in her organization that is responsible for all of the trauma in her life, which we find out in the book. And it's all about her essentially going on this revenge mission and trying to find out exactly what's going on so that she can get some closure. I want to recommend this to fans of Claymore because it's women that can fight. All right, it's women warriors, it's women spies that can fight and can kill you in a split instant. She's also outcast like the Claymores are because people can't know, obviously, that she's a spy, you know, so there's that distance between her and regular everyday people. There's a certain level of loneliness there that she can't fix. Also, like Red Wolf, another reason why I want to recommend Her Name is Night based on Claymore is because there is a relationship similar to Claire's relationship with Rocky. Claire saves Rocky, and that's against the rules for Claire. So if you do decide to check this book out, I personally loved Nina. She was awesome to follow. So you guys, those were the recommendations that I had for Claymore. All right, I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope that you guys will check all of these books out, okay? Because even outside of the Claymore recommendations, I still loved each and every single one of these. So you guys, with that being said, I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope that you continue to look out for more stuff on my channel. I hope that you guys are staying safe. And lastly, I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.